Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 10. We made it. This many episodes. That's a whole two hands worth of episodes, guys. Double digits. This is huge. We made it to episode 10 of Rounding Third. I am your co host, Jeremy Lapidus, joined as always by my friend and co host.
Haden Raymer. Sorry.
Mike's not on.
My mic's not on. What do you mean my
There you
mic's
go.
not
You're
on?
back now.
Yeah.
What's your name?
I'm Haden Raymer.
It's Haden Raymer. We have a great show for you guys today. We really do. There's been a lot of major news coming out of the MLB. First of all, the super big one, Bryan Reynolds. Huge contract extension. That happened. You know what else happened? Some crazy starts from some teams like the Pirates. Who would have guessed that? Not this guy. I'm kidding. You got it pretty close. Anyway, the next one. What did I just type out? Oh my god, do you guys
Jordan
remember
Walker got demoted.
Jordan Walker? The guy that we, highlighted about 2 episodes ago? He's no longer in the big leagues. Hayden's gonna tell us all about that, along with much more in this show. It's been a crazy week of baseball. It's super exciting. I'm super excited. Where do you want to start, Hayden?
I mean, we gotta start with the Reynolds extension. Like that's huge news. It's
Yeah.
the largest deal in Pirates history. Because he signed an 8-year, $106.75 million extension. That has a club option on it and a limited no trade clause.
Yeah, no player options on there. I remember he was offered this
No
type of
opt-outs.
deal. Yeah, no player opt-outs. Excuse me. He was offered this type of deal in the offseason, and he didn't sign it. What do you think changed to make him sign that deal now?
I mean, the Pirates gave up more money. And then I think part of it is, I think, just the way I'm interpreting the situation. I could be completely wrong. But I actually forgot to look at this. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm such a terrible host. I think it's part of it is just like he had like a specific dollar amount he wanted to make in his career after he made the big leagues and has had these amazing careers so far. We're talking about a guy who hits 282, 359, 484 over his career. You know, an 844 OPS guy, 128 OPS plus, and that's including an abysmal 2020. And I mean, I think part of it is he recognizes what he is, and then the other part of it is he wanted to make a certain amount of money, right? Uh, so far, in the past 2 years, he's made $6.75 million. I don't have his can't find his full player history on how much he's made, but if I had to guess, he was like, I want to make $150 million or something like that in my career. Maybe it's a 125. And this contract got him to that. And he was like, you know what? I love the city. I want to play here. But like I said, he understands what he is. Reynolds isn't a center fielder. I don't believe. I think a lot of people think of Bryan Reynolds as a center fielder. I don't know if you think of Bryan Reynolds as a center fielder, Jeremy.
I do. I've only ever seen him play center field, so I do think of him as a center fielder.
He's not. He's a guy that you can start in center field every so often, but he's a left fielder. I think also part of it, actually, no.
Is he getting paid center field money?
No.
No?
If I would sign Bryan Reynolds to a contract, in free agency, you're thinking, maybe, 5-100 type deal.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 5-125. Somewhere in that range. I don't think, I think the years just kind of spreads it out, and the 100 was the amount of money he wanted. And,
Yeah.
at age, a 5-year contract at 32, maybe he makes it. Might as well just do the 8 years, get the guaranteed bag now.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. So yes, so congrats to him. I was looking at his career earnings. He's made $18 million uh, over including this season, just salary wise. So with this contract, it's going to bring him up to 116 million. It's pretty good amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he's I don't even know what I was gonna say. My brain just went, you know.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a lot of fun little things that came out of this. Uh, he went on the Reynolds went on the bereavement list a few days ago, and because of that, they called up like a career minor leaguer, uh, Drew Maggie,
Yes.
and so that was a fun little story. He still hasn't made his debut yet, so it's a little
Oh,
like,
really? I thought
yeah,
he did the same night that he got called up.
no. So he still hasn't made his debut yet. So, but I mean, Pirates are off to a hot start. You know, they're 16-8. They're leading the division right now. Uh,
Second in the league in win percentage or
yeah,
record or whatever.
and they've just been a really good team. Their bullpen's been kind of average. Their rotation's been like a top 10 one in the league, and their bats are just hot. They play a really good brand of baseball. I really like their lineup. Like when you're talking about Brian Hayes, Reynolds, McCutcheon, Santana. Actually, has McCutcheon been this good?
He's been fine. He hasn't done anything like crazy, I don't
I
think.
mean, he's hitting 270, 371, 527.
Pretty good.
McCutcheon has a. McCutcheon already has more WAR so far this year than he did all of last year with Milwaukee.
Well, Milwaukee just kind of sucked last year.
Yeah, he is at almost a 900 OPS right now, Jeremy.
I stand corrected. He's been really good this season.
And he has a 268 BABIP.
All right then.
He has
Look
the
at that.
highest isolated slugging of his career, and he's at his highest hard hit rate of his career so far. At least of like Statcast.
Do you think that's because of the shift, or
I mean, he's a righty.
he's also like old? So why do you think he's getting? Why do you think he's getting all these career highs right now?
Uh, Here, let me look. I don't know. I haven't looked. I'm just like exploring the fan graphs right now, and just like, oh, McCutcheon's having a really good year. Give me 1 second. I can find. I'll find his savant and I'll look at his numbers and I'll let you know if you want to just talk about stuff.
Yeah. So obviously the Pirates have been very good. Second best record in the league, kind of out of nowhere. A lot of people had them as, about a year away. That included me and Haden, I believe. Haden, yeah, you thought they were about a year away.
Yeah, I thought they had the chance to kind of be like this really fun, exciting team, but like I didn't think it was gonna be like this.
Right. No, but they've come out the gates hot. Obviously, with a 16-8 record, you come out of the gates hot. The the injury to O'Neal Cruz is what worries me. I don't think they can keep up this pace without him in the lineup. I know it's a solid lineup. Haden just went through the list a little while ago, but it really is a solid team. Uh, the bullpen might need some work, but you have an elite closer at the back end of it, and I mean, as long as you're scoring some runs and you can get there, which is what they've been doing, it could continue. Like I said, it's early. It's only 24 games in. We're not even a quarter of the way through this season. Baseball is a long season, full of ups, full of downs. But it's always fun for a young team like the Pirates to be getting this kind of attention, this kind of, oh my god, are they really this good? This team is finally ready type attention.
Mm-hmm.
It's super exciting for them, and I think it's good for a young team to get this attention before they explode, so it doesn't get to their heads when they are truly ready to compete. And maybe I might eat my words. Maybe they truly are ready to compete right now. But it's interesting. I think it's good for a team to get a taste of success before they're really good to go, because we saw it with the Padres. There's a lot of personalities. That one year, Tatis, they experienced success, and then it got in their heads, and then they kind of imploded. And excuse me, I you hear stories all the time like that. So I think it's good that they're getting a little taste of success right now before they really hit the big time.
Yeah, no, I mean, they have. I think a lot of their moves this offseason were all really good moves. Uh, I was a big fan of that Austin Hedges move. Bringing in a veteran like catcher like that is huge for especially for a staff that is so young. Uh, they have a lot of young good players. Jack Sawinski is somebody who hasn't been talked
I
about a whole
really
lot,
like Jack Sawinski.
and he's having a miniature breakout right now. I think at the end of this year we're gonna look back at his year and be like, that guy had like a really good year. Uh, Connor Joe kind of went back to normal being Connor Joe. Uh, it's just kind of everything's going right now. Brian Hayes is having a solid year. Obviously, the loss of O'Neal Cruz is terrible. But, you know, like we said, McCutcheon's been good, like really good. Honestly, the shift didn't affect him a whole lot in the past. Last year, though, like when we're talking about just like from last year to this year, that is where you're going to see a big jump. He like was terrible when he hit into the shift, like against the shift last year, which was also the year he was shifted against the most. But I mean, he's just he's whiffing less. He's striking out a lot less. He's going from a 21.4% strikeout rate to a 16.9. And he's walking a lot more too. So he's just making better swing decisions, is what it looks like. Which we love that. Yeah, no, I mean it looks like he's just he's not chasing a whole lot. He's crushing it in the zone. Like last year, he was really bad in the in the zone. Because he's always had good plate discipline. And he was still good last year, but this year he's already doing a little bit better in the zone. When
Right.
hitters are challenging him, he's actually doing damage, and that's a big part of his success. But no, I mean it's just a really good squad. A big thing, part of that is this pitching staff. Mitch Keller is really good. Johan Avedio has been really good. Roansy Contreras is like having a solid year, and Vince Velasquez. I thought this was just like a fifth starter type signing for them. Like he's been like really good. Like he's got like a 3.76 ERA. Like he's striking out like over a guy an inning. He's not giving up a lot of home runs. I think his stats right now suggest he's going to regress a little bit, but I mean, so far he's been really good. Like, and I think one of the things that we should keep an eye out on this Pirates team for is this team has like a top prospect ready to go. He's like a catcher, left fielder, second baseman. Andy Rodriguez, he's really good. Nick Gonzalez is another really fun guy. I don't know how much you know about Nick Gonzalez, Jeremy, but he's a fun little infielder who if Ji-Hwan Bae isn't necessarily crushing it for him, bring him up and you got like a top 100 prospect. Manning second base, and they have a bunch of pitching prospects. Like I think this team's really fun. I think they have a lot of really good players, that are all like near big league ready. Like, this could be their time. Like their prospects, their guys that they need to be good. The guys who they need to take a step forward are all taking a step forward. Their veterans are just hitting, and so it's just a good team all around.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I went on my little rant. I still think they're a year away. I think they're going to come down to earth before the end of the season. But this is a fun team. I hope they succeed. I really do. Uh, this isn't like me trying to wish bad on them. I
Hmm.
really want this team to be good because it's a fun team, and they deserve to succeed. Honestly, it's been a while. I think they deserve a little bit of success. Uh, so yeah, if I'm wrong, I'm happy about it. But I still think they're a year away, and I think the loss of O'Neal Cruz is really going to hurt them in the long run. But aside from that, there's been a lot of breakouts, and that's awesome. Um, but the other story, Haden kind of blindsided me with this about 2 seconds before we went live, because I missed this one. Jordan Walker is has been demoted. Hayden, why did this happen? I thought he was doing very well in the majors.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say very well. He's hitting 274, 321, 397. He's been about league average. His defense has been really bad. There's no way to slice it. He's already at -3 outs above average, which is kind of the preferred advanced metric statistic. If you want to go into a couple other nerdy ones, he's at a -31.7 UZR over 150 games. Like if you prorate it, you know, extrapolate it over to 150 games, he's at -31.7 for the year. That's not good. Now it's small sample size defensive statistics. Like that's not anything we should buy into, but
Mm-hmm.
it's they don't have like they just have too many of. It's just like their roster construction is weird, honestly. Uh, Nolan Gorman, just I guess they don't want playing in the field. I haven't watched him play defensively a whole lot. I remember him being kind of a fringy defender. Oh, he was. Oh, he was bad. Yeah, never mind. I understand why they don't want Nolan Gorman playing in the field. They just don't have room for all these guys. Uh, I mean, when you have, you know, Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt at the corners of your infield, and then you have a ton of corner infield prospects, you run into roster construction issues, and that's what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
Now the lineup, I mean, it's just part of it is this Cardinals team has just been bad. They're 9-15. Uh, Walker clearly has some stuff that they think he needs to work out in the minors. And they think he's just not necessarily ready. Is my guess. I disagree. I think there's not a better place to learn than the major leagues. And so, it's probably a little bit of like you need to kind of have them figure out up here, but they disagree. Instead, they use his roster spot for Taylor Motter, who signed a 1-year major league contract. This guy, let me get rid of his minor league numbers, has a career -.14 WAR, F4. He's a career 192, 264, 310 hitter. So that's the thing that bothers me is when you're signing a bad bench bat to replace him. It's just I don't see it just doesn't make sense. And like the lineup's not necessarily the issue, like they're a little unlucky when it comes to scoring runs. It's still early in the season, but the pitching has just been horrendous. Like their bullpen or their rotation ranks 24th in ERA. Their bullpen's 12th in ERA, so it's good, but it's not great. And it's just I feel like they're trying to make Walker the scapegoat here when he's not.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
I
know.
don't understand. I don't understand why they do that though. you've got a young star who, again, I haven't heard a lot of people talk about him other than you, Hayden, so I'm going to be quoting you almost exclusively during this, who you say could be the next Juan Soto. Um, and, I trust your judgment here. So
I
when I hear, obviously,
yeah
the last thing you want is to villainize a prospect to your fan base, right?
yeah.
You want your fan base to like a prospect. You want your fan base to respect and say, "Hey, I'm excited for this guy to come up. He's gonna solve our problems." Not that the Cardinals have a lot of problems. I know they've started slow, but they've got a really good team.
I
And
mean, do
if
they
they're
though?
trying to, what do you mean, do they?
I
Of course they
look.
do.
Do you okay? I don't. When I look at this rotation, I don't get excited.
It's not the rotation is fine. It's
It's
not.
not fine. When you're in
It
a
is fine.
rotation, when the Cubs have a better rotation then you have an issue. You're not a contender.
The Cubs have Yan Gomes behind the plate.
The Cubs genuinely have a better rotation than the St. Louis Cardinals right now. And
I
my
think they're
issue
really
is
feeling.
the Cardinals are in this win now window. You have Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt. And they have all this prospect capital just sitting in AAA. Like, either trade these guys or call them up.
I don't know. I think this team's very good. I understand the rotation has issues, but that's something that they're going to address at the deadline. This isn't a team that's going to be selling now. This is the team that's going to try and stay afloat, and then they're going to trade for, I don't know.
They don't have time for that.
What do you mean they don't have time
They
for
don't
that?
have
This
time
team,
for that.
this lineup is good enough that it can.
Jeremy, they're 9-15.
9-15,
They're
like
7
25
games back.
They're 24 games into the season, Hayden.
I don't know. It's this after I if it wasn't the Cardinals, right? And what has happened this year, I wouldn't worry. But one, it's the Cardinals. You gotta expect better. And secondly, like there's dysfunction in the clubhouse already. And so you're gonna demote your top prospect, who's like not even like the worst hitter on this team right now.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I believe in this team. I think this team's very good. I know the rotation has its issues, but that lineup is really good. That defense is really good. The Cardinals always have a little bit of magic powder. They always do. They've done this for years. They always have something that they can pull out from nowhere, and just take them to a wild card spot, and then maybe a division championship. The NL Central isn't strong this year. I know we just spent like 15 minutes talking about the Pirates and how they started off the season strong, but I think they're going to come down to earth. I think they're going to end the season winning what, like 80 games? That's pretty good for them, winning 80 games. I think they're going to start to come down to earth soon. And the Cardinals, they just have to win 85 games. And I think this team can absolutely win 85 games.
I think you need to win more than 85 games.
To win the division, I think that Central Division's really weak.
I mean, I think the Brewers are already having a much better year than I expected them to. I think the Cubs are like constantly a threat. I don't think 85 games is gonna cut it. My thing is like I don't like they have all these prospects, but I don't see what they're doing. If that makes sense.
Right. It's just the Cardinals don't have space on their roster for these guys.
I know it'll fix it, Jeremy. They're gonna make space
Yeah.
right now.
How are we gonna do that?
Trade away Paul Goldschmidt.
Honestly, I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either.
Because he's only getting older. His stock is at its highest. He just came off an MVP season.
Did he win MVP?
Yeah, he won MVP.
Did he really? Did I like
Yeah.
just forget about this?
Yeah, Paul Goldschmidt's coming off an NL MVP season. He
He's-
almost won the Triple Crown.
He did win MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, trade by Paul Goldschmidt. Like that's like I know like from a fan base perspective, like that's such a terrible thing to do.
I don't hate it. I don't hate the move.
That or
Because that's
like
going to free up space for your... I'm assuming you say this because they have a really good first base prospect in their system.
I mean, you just play Nolan Gorman at first base, and then you just call up Jordan Walker,
Okay.
or you call up Juan Yepez, who's like one of the best minor league hitters right now.
I don't hate it. I really don't. But they need to get pitching back. And I don't know who they trade Goldschmidt to.
And sorry, I just terrible idea.
I'm here for it.
Trade him in division.
In division?
Actually, you know what?
They might. Baseball's one of those...
Jeremy,
What?
I just had a terrible thought.
What's up? Tell me. Tell me your terrible thought.
Listen, man, we already know Paul Goldschmidt looks good in red.
Are you going to say the Reds?
No.
Okay.
And, he's already played on the West Coast, so, I feel like that's not going to be an adjustment for him. I think what the Red Angels, or not the Angels, they need to acquire another MVP. Preferably one who also can throw. Go get Shohei Ohtani.
Straight up, Goldschmidt for Ohtani?
Oh, no, they're going to have to give up more than just Goldschmidt. They're going to have to toss in guys, too, for that. But
Ain't no way. Ain't a shot in the world the Angels trade Shohei.
I don't know. I think that lineup still bangs. Listen, all I'm saying is if you can't win with Shohei Ohtani, I don't think you can win without. I think your odds to win without Shohei Ohtani are the same.
I disagree. I understand not winning with him is kind of an impressive feat, especially when you also have Mike Trout on the team. But winning without him is harder than it is with him.
I don't know, man. I think I think they need to make a trade, and I think if we're at the end of May and they haven't made any trades to go acquire anything, I think this is I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. I'm gonna be honest. You can clip it.
That's fair. I don't think the at this point. I think it's I mean, it was the same thing in our predictions, I think. I don't remember who I predicted for the Wild. I'll check my phone after. Actually, you know what? We'll do this now. But at this point, I think it's a one bid. What's it called? A one bid division.
Yeah, for sure.
Or from the Central, and I don't think you need to win 100 games to win the Central. I think you only need to win 85, 90.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I was wrong. I had 2 from the Central in my predictions. Oh well. This is so sad.
Like I said, they need to make moves before the end of the season to go grab stuff. But yeah, who cares about the Cardinals? Let's talk about some fun teams, some teams that are doing well. Let's talk about them Baltimore Orioles.
Yes, the Baltimore Orioles, another team similar to the Pirates. They also are 16-8, tied for the second best record, but they are behind the Tampa Bay Rays because the Rays are ridiculous. The Orioles have this guy. His name is Adley Rutschman. Pretty good at baseball. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, Haden.
Yeah, big fan.
He's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, the team just clicked, really. That's what it's come down to. I'm still a little skeptical about their pitching, and I know it's been good. But it's been hurt at times.
I am skeptical of their starting pitching. Their
Yeah,
bullpen, I think,
that's what I mean.
their bullpen is, I think, they might have the best back three arms in a bullpen in the big leagues right now. And it's just like,
Really.
just randomly, just are like, yeah, no, man, I don't. Do me a favor tomorrow, Jeremy. I don't know if you're busy.
Uh,
Do the Orioles play tomorrow? They do.
I believe they do.
Yeah. Tomorrow. What time? What time is that game? Thursday. It's gonna be a
Shoot,
night
I
game,
have
I
it up.
think.
It's tomorrow at 6:40
6:40.
against the Tigers.
So, tomorrow. Come home a little early.
I'll be
text
home.
You,
I'll
tomorrow's
be helping
Thursday.
you tomorrow. Yeah. I'll
Oh,
be
well,
helping
by
you
then
tomorrow.
we'll be done.
Yeah.
But I want you to watch. Like, if it's a close game, watch the Orioles and watch what they're gonna do. Like that.
They're playing the Tigers. I don't think it's gonna be a close game.
Those three bullpen arms are insane.
Yeah, they're
Yainer
going
Cano didn't allow like a, let's see, through his first 7 innings pitched. Yeah, he still hasn't allowed a base runner, Jeremy.
Wow.
He's faced 20 batters and he hasn't, or no, he's faced 26 batters and he still hasn't allowed a base runner.
Pretty good.
And like Felix Bautista, we already know about him. Like, we know Felix is good. And
Yeah.
then they've had Brian Baker be really good. Like, it's just a really good bullpen.
Yeah, I don't think the game's gonna be close tomorrow, Hayden.
I don't know, man.
But we'll turn it on. They're
Taylor-
playing Joey Wentz.
Tyler Wells is on the bump for them.
It's Kyle Gibson tomorrow.
Is it Gibson?
It's
it is.
Gibson versus
Wells was
Joey
today.
Wentz. And
Always means. I thought they had. Oh, they optioned.
and the Orioles are pretty good against lefties this season so far. So I think, you know. Anyway, that's not super important. What was I?
Sorry, I just saw they demoted Cole Irvin, and Cole Irvin's sitting in AAA for them. That's
They
hilarious.
demoted Cole Irvin?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
But yeah, no, man, it's just such a good team. Like, Anthony Santander, Ryan Mountcastle, Gunnar Henderson, Cedric Mullins, Adley
Mhm.
Rutschman. Jorge Mateo's had, like, a really insane season. But yeah, no, the Rays are really good. The Wander Franco catch, everyone go watch that, please. Just Google
It was
Wander
pretty cool.
Franco catch.
It was pretty cool.
And you'll be very happy with yourself. Something, I'm literally just going to go through fun little things in the league. Jeremy, if you don't mind, real quick.
Please do.
So the Rays called up Zach Birdie. Zach Birdie had a ton of upside as a relieving prospect, and like a guy who could, potentially be like a guy who came in and like closed out games. He just, he had the pitches to do it, just not the command. And I'm terrified that they just turned him into the next best closer in the big leagues. What other fun things is there? Man, it sucks to be the Red Sox. They're 13-13 and they're the last team in the AL East. How about them Twins, Jeremy?
About the Twins.
How about them Twins? Twins have been really good. Whatchamacallit? Sonny Gray has been really good. Joe Ryan's obviously really good. And Pablo Lopez has been an ace. And then you have, Jorge Lopez, who they got from the Orioles. And then Joe and Duran. They're just insane. I think, it's a fun lineup. I'm about it, you know what I mean? Like, it's a little sketch still. But I like the team. I think it could be really good. Who else? We talked about them. Talked about the D-backs a lot already. honestly, I'm gonna shout out 2 pitchers and then I'm done with my little thoughts. Spencer Strider has been really, really good again this year. That guy's just not
Fantastic.
fair. I was listening to Talking Baseball, and
Uh,
they've talked to hitters who face them because they have better connections than we do. Uh,
of course.
and they were talking about how like hitters describe facing Strider as facing a closer for 8 innings. Like you're just
That's
facing a
crazy.
closer every inning.
That's crazy.
He throws 2 pitches and they're just both too good for anything. So, you know, Madison Bumgarner got officially released, and then Josiah Gray had a really good start last night. I'm very happy for him. That guy is awesome. He's an incredible person. And you know, if anybody's still watching this, a Mason Thompson article is about to drop on the Nats report, by me, yours truly, and you should give it a read when it goes out.
You should. It's a very good article. You just missed the viewer. They've been in and out.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
me actually. I'm the viewer. It's true. I am
Anyway.
actually the viewer.
Damn. Anyway, yeah, it's been a great week for baseball. There's a lot more going on, right now, and we'll keep you updated. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in to episode 10 of Rounding Third. I've been your co-host, Jeremy Lapidus, joined as always by my friend and co-host.
Haden Raymer.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you at home.